Good morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House, presented in partnership with Cardon and Associates. We are really happy you're here. You're going to be happy that you're here too. This is Caregiver Crossing. We are a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh.
I'm Terry Stacy, and they are in our air, in our water, in our soil, and in our food supply. Toxins and chemical pollutants are everywhere, including in our bodies. And Tina has some fascinating facts.
Oh, hold on here, people, because it's about to get real. According to the Department of Agriculture, Americans consume 104 million pounds of food preservatives annually.
Wow.
California, whose fruits and vegetables are shipped to every state, applies more than 170 million pounds of pesticides to its crops each year. Two more for you. America's lakes, rivers, and oceans contain everything from antibiotics to birth control hormones to plastic microfibers to mercury to jet fuel.
Wow.
Polluting marine life and tainting our drinking water. 8 months after a congressional report found toxin-heavy metals in baby foods, a new 2002 report finds those tainted baby foods have not yet been recalled or pulled from the shelves. Terry, I know you have some questions here.
Why? So, how do we eat with health in mind while living on a planet many say is poisoned beyond repair? And that's a scary thought. So today we welcome back Dr. Julie Gatza, founder of the Florida Wellness Institute. You may remember her from our Poop 101 episode to offer advice on how we can protect our health and the health of those that you care for by eating smart in a toxic world. I'm so glad you're here, Dr. Julie. How are you?
Very good. Nice to see you guys.
Tina, let's just get right into it. You do it.
Well, first of all, it's just a scary conversation.
It's terrifying. And it's why?
Yeah, it really is. And so, I guess, Dr. Julie, we can start here. What percentage of the population has health problems stemming from toxins residing in their bodies?
Wow. I mean, I would say over 90%.
My goodness.
So, you can just pare it down to, okay, find me one person that just feels good. Just feels good. Find me one that's under, let's say, 18. And even those people aren't doing very well these days. So the fact is, everything's been altered since the 1970s up. And we have food and chemicals and cleaning supplies and water that's, never considered buying bottled water. But now I live in Florida. There's no way you wouldn't buy water. You would not drink it out of the tap. It kills your frogs. It kills your fish. So you're not going to drink it out of the tap out of one, saving grace to yourself. So it's overloaded, it's laziness, and it's a lot of money being made. And let's, if we really want to get down to it, it keeps us on, sort of the roller coaster of having to take medications and having to, take care of our bodies in ways that we never thought we would have had to.
I dig you, by the way. Like, I really like the way you present this stuff. And anybody who knows me really well knows I've got this little bit of conspiracy theorist in me. I'm not proud, and yet I'm not ashamed. And so, when it comes to this kind of a conversation, I hear what you're saying. A lot of times things are put in, and then we're forced to deal with them the best that we can. And the way that we're equipped is often through medication. And so let me ask you this question, and I know we didn't, throw this question at you in advance, but if I opened up your refrigerator, what would be different, do you think, in your refrigerator and mine?
Well, I do have my niece who just moved in with me, so that doesn't count whatever she brings home from work. But it's, I don't know what you have, but everything of mine is from the outsides of the grocery store, short of some condiments. I have hibiscus tea sitting on the counter that I made right before I got onto the show, and I have fresh fruits and fresh vegetables, and everything's organized. And I've cut up celery and carrots, and I made homemade hummus yesterday, and I made a homemade guacamole yesterday, and I made ceviche the day before. So I really do make my food. I do like to eat out. I love junk. I love jelly beans. I love dark chocolate, but I keep myself in check because those are for treats. Those aren't a daily thing. And eating out for me would be a nicer eating out meal. I don't see fast food restaurants. I am not above everyone. I just see how sickly people are. I see how badly they do. And when I've been on the road and given in and eaten at even a better fast food store, I don't feel good. So I judge everything digestion. I judge that for all my patients, and I judge it for myself.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you. When it comes to what kind of romance you're into, you don't have to choose just one. Fancy a dalliance with a duke, or maybe a steamy billionaire? You could find a book boyfriend in the city and another one tearing it up on the hockey field. And if nothing on this earth satisfies, you can always find love in another realm. Discover modern rom-coms from authors like Lily Chu and Ali Hazelwood, the latest romantasy series from Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros, plus Regency favorites like Bridgerton and Outlander. And of course, all the really steamy stuff. Your first great love story is free when you sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com/Wondery. That's audible.com/Wondery.
I wonder, because we are living longer, but our quality of life is not as good. So I'm wondering, when we come in and we hear diagnosis of cancer and we hear the diagnosis of heart disease and stroke and so many other things, we are what we eat, we keep being told. But do those that are in charge at other big levels that make decisions about things, do they ultimately know that maybe this is where it stems from, where it comes from, the pollutants, the toxins, or does that kind of just, is that brushed under the rug?
I think it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, because a 4-year-old can understand to eat better. And, I've had 4-year-olds that have come in that I had to change up their diets, and they're better at it than their parents once you give them the explanation. So I think it's simply having to be backed with money. And, the fact is, we could make a whole conversation of the injustice of it all, but I don't know how to change that part. I just know my little pond, which is, give good advice. I take very overweight people and very sickly people and people with, diseases. I don't take on cancer, but people with very high blood sugar. We get to see them improve and change because we do focus on the digestive system. And that means what is going in. That means what nutrition you're taking. That also means, are you breaking down the food that you're eating? So I don't care what age patient I have, when they're older, they look younger after being on my program for 30 days.
So I have a question for you, and I want to talk about the whole toxic burden and how when someone, there's some telltale signs. I do have a question though do you take on patients only that you can see in person, or like I'm in Indianapolis, you're in Florida. Could I become one of your patients?
Yes, I do long distance as well. And what I've found over all these years is products that actually work. So, if it's something that I thought and read all this wonderful information, and then I worked out on patients or myself and it didn't work, well, I don't care the research. I need it to actually work. So I have products that work. The one that I'd like to, give you guys some information on today is, I call it digestive enzyme, because if you can break down all your foods, you can get the nutrition from your foods. And if you cannot get the nutrients from your foods, it doesn't really matter how great a food you're putting into the body, how much money you're spending. You also need to be able to get rid of the toxins from your foods. So if you don't want to follow a perfectly great diet, you also have to be able to get rid of the junk that's going into your system because you're eating more fast foods than you should.
So
give us some
examples.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I think we're both asking the same thing.
I think so. Go ahead.
Those telltale signs that someone has a significant toxic burden.
Circles under the eyes, gas, bloating, indigestion, heartburn, diarrhea, constipation, acid reflux, belly fat, brain fog, can't think, can't sleep, restless legs, cramping. I mean, pretty much this is
every person I know. That's what you're describing right now.
I'm just checking off the boxes.
Right. So
I don't know, Dr. Julie, why you're yelling at me right now, but I hear you. But it's true. I mean, everything you're saying, I understand it shows up for us, right, in certain ways. And I'm sure every person is a little bit different. But so what do you do with those people? I mean, I hear you saying you've got really great products that help, but how do you do that?
Well, one, I educate them. So do exactly what I'm doing with you guys, is just start talking real information and, understand where they want to come from, because not everyone wants to spend a bunch of money. Not everyone wants to take a bunch of nutrition. Not everyone wants to change their diets. So I find out where they are, and then I explain the things that they're doing that are the most obviously bad for them. So, one of them is drinking coffee, tea, and pop. What it does is it changes how you absorb. So the number one thing for anyone is to be able to absorb nutrition, whether you're taking it from vitamins or you're getting it from your food. If you can't absorb, it's not going to get in. You cannot get healthy without absorption. So the enzyme I was talking about is called Absorbaid. And I have every one of my patients take that with every meal and every snack. I also have them taking it at night with empty stomachs, because it gets rid of inflammation, toxins, and poisons, and even viruses. So it can break down all this junk in the body that doesn't belong. And so I do take patients from far away as well and tell them this. So that's where I start.
I know Terry wants to ask about caregivers, but I'm going to ask about me really quick. So for me, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor. My husband's had cancer twice as well. And I say this jokingly and yet not jokingly, we blame it on Velveeta, those big blocks of Velveeta that when we were kids, it went on broccoli and everything else. Yeah. But really what I mean by that is it's what we've taken in, right? And that our bodies just were ready to make cancer cells. For somebody like me to get this, the supplement that you're talking about, to help me, do I need to run it by my oncologist and my slew of doctors? Or is this just something, there's no conflict with anything I'm probably already taking or doing?
No, and I'm going to make a bit of a joke. It's all a vegan formula. So it's only from plants and vegetables. So I always laugh when patients say that, because that's how everything in my office is. No matter what I'm giving, it is something that you could get from your diet. And I say, but you wouldn't run to your doctor and ask if you could eat the bag of Doritos.
Truth. Truth. Okay. That helps me.
Now, for caregivers that are listening today, busy caregivers, and they all are, who might be inclined to compromise on healthy food choices because of their limited time, high stress. It's just like when you have little kids, sometimes you're just grabbing at stuff, And so the advice that you have for our caregivers today.
Yeah, I would say 1, get some Absorbaid so you can break down whatever it is that you're eating. Number 2, that excuse only goes so far. It is super simple to boil eggs, and it's cheap as heck. And you can bring an egg in your jeans pocket if your jeans are big enough. So, that is, you can eat very quickly, and you can eat very simply and healthily. You just have to put in a little bit of effort. It's not even the time. So you must say, listen, I'm going to work for the next 5 days. You know your schedule. So boil up 12 eggs and eat them over the next 5 days. Cut up some celery, cut up some carrots, put the whole darn bag in water in your refrigerator. It will stay good for 10 days. So there's so many things that you can do. If you're cooking chicken that night, cook enough for 5 people and eat it for the next 4 days. It's better than eating fast food. So it may be boring, but come on, we don't have somebody running around like a mother that, is a great cook with a lot of time saying, hey, honey, it's time for you to eat your this. And I made you some steak and got it cold for you today. And, what are you doing eating cereal this morning? There's good eggs. And it's just simply, you have to change your mind. And the first thing is decide to change it. And it sounds so trite, but it really is the truth. Not one person will ever knock on your door and tell you that it's time for you to get healthy. You're the only person that's going to do it.
I just have one more question, and that is, can you change things no matter how old you are? Could not only change your habits, but also change what you've done to your body? Can you fix that?
I'm so amazed at how fast it does change. I truly have had patients in their 90s whom, when they're through 30 days of what I've asked them to do, which isn't crazy, it's just very sane, and it's things they used to do growing up. And they say, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. My swelling in my legs is gone. I feel so much better. I have energy. I'm sleeping better. I'm not such a, rotten guy to my, family members. And you can see their eyes are brighter. Their skin looks better. They're happier. And it's simply their bodies feel better because they're finally doing the thing that used to work for them.
Dr. Julie, are you a primary care physician? I mean, what's your specialty area?
I'm a chiropractor, and I specialize in something called applied kinesiology, which uses a lot of muscle testing and a ton of nutrition. I test people for different food sensitivities, but mostly I focused on the digestive system because I got so sick of treating somebody with the same darn back problem, because I could get them all better and it would be great for 3 days. And then they'd come back in and, it's a great moneymaker to not really fix them, but it's no fun to be that type of a doctor. So after we really did a bunch of research and found out if they fix the digestive system, they will also fix their chronic low back pain.
Would it be weird if I asked you as a chiropractor to be my primary care physician?
Right.
I think we could have a good thing going here. How do
Me too.
how do people get more information?
Well, what they can do is they can go to the website which sells the Absorbaid, which is naturesources.com. And they can do the research on the Absorbaid and find out people are giving it to their elderly, to their kids, to their dogs. And they can also call the 1-800 number, which is 1-800-827-7656. And if you use the code radio, they will generously send you some samples, or they will give you 20% off your first order. And my website is the Florida Wellness Institute. So you're welcome to get on that. It's getting worked on a bit, but it's still workable.
Fantastic. Well, we want to thank you, Dr. Julie. Thank you so much for coming and being on the show with us again. We learn something from you every time you're here. Thank you.
Pleasure too. Thank you.
And for the rest of you, as we're closing the show, I want to remind you that you can contact me, Tina McIntosh, for more information and resources, and tell us what you want to hear on the show too. We want to listen. And so we want to be here with you as you go through the journey of caregiving. You can email me at tina@joyshouse.org. Terry, with our sponsor.
Caregiver Crossing, supported by Cardon and Associates. We sure appreciate them so much. They've got 20 communities owned, operated, or managed in the Midwest and more than 40 years of senior living experience. Cardon and Associates provides residents with the best senior living options and personalized service. Thank you all so much for listening today. We will talk to you next week. Until next time, take good care of each other.